Welcome, guys. My name is Keenan. I'm here with
Avion, all the way from San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Jason Houston from Piperton, Tennessee.
There we go. And we're here at the Nucleus, the creator's universe. You're just living in it. I think that's nice.
It's dope.
Yeah.
Super dope.
Yeah.
So how are we feeling today?
You have a very natural announcer's voice, with the way that you brought that in. Like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It was like
you got one as well, too.
You were starting a game or something,
Yep. I feel good. Can't complain. Just taking it one day at a time, enjoying life. I think that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Like he said earlier, it's about balance and which way you're trying to go. It's okay to change your mind because, we're human.
The panel that they did earlier was like very relaxing for me because I just came out of class, right? And just to hear him talk about like networking and then obviously having like that self-balance is like very important. I wanted to chip in and tell him that I was just reading a book by Stephen Covey, and he talks about like it's a book called 7 Habits of Effective People, and he breaks down like 7 habits. So you have like habit 1, which is like be proactive, not reactive. Habit 2 is begin with the end in mind, so like having a goal in mind. And then it goes all the way to like habit 7, which is like sharpen the saw. So sharpen the saw is like a metaphor that explains us it's okay to like reset and recharge, right? Us as people, and like they said, like we're all like goal orientated. So we're like trying to, get things done. But if you don't sharpen that saw, which is like essentially like taking a step back and, or like relax, you may end up burning out. So it was pretty dope. Learned a lot from him.
Okay.
I love how it was so different than any of the other events I've gone to because usually the events look like they're created to build the ego of the speaker.
True.
They put them on a pedestal and nobody's allowed to talk, and it's a very staunch environment. But I loved how they were right at the same level with us, actually talking about sort of everyday things. I definitely almost considered staying at my house and just doing whatever I needed to do work after work. And I'm glad I came because this is such a different experience than I ever could have imagined. And I think I'm going to actually be one of the people that comes back here and does some recordings in this place.
I will for sure. Definitely need a new studio place. And shout out to like National Leadership Society, right?
Correct.
Because they were the people who kind of like started or sent out the email for us to even come here. So shout out to whoever, I think it's like Brian. Brian Rush.
It was Brian.
Brian who sent out the email. So shout out to Brian, bro. Appreciate you because you changed my life forever. Facts.
Correct. I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting this.
Definitely.
I didn't know what to expect, but I just came down here to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Had some other things that I needed to take care of down here, but I'm glad I definitely came. Again, I feel like I may be overdressed because I didn't know what to expect.
We were just talking about that, literally.
We both were at work.
So not to cut you off, we were just talking about that, literally, bro. Like some dude, one of my friends, colleagues, he was like, "Man, I feel like I'm overdressed, right?"
Yeah, the guy in the really nice brown suit.
Yeah. We were like, "No, bro, you."
And I pointed at you and him, but I was like, we're going to remember the guy in the gray suit and the guy in the brown suit.
Facts.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I was telling him, too, in that same conversation, I work in a construction company. So today, everybody was making fun of how fancy I looked because I wore nice jeans and a nice polo. Because for that culture it's like way over the top, but I didn't think I'd have time to go home and take a shower and put on a suit. So
you both look good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I came out of class, literally, and I was like, well, they gonna know I'm repping UN for sure.
So I thought you were like a coach of like a sports team,
I was like, I'm
a trainer or something.
I'm gonna have to go with it, literally.
And it's kind of like church when my grandmother used to tell me, "Oh, just come as you are." So
you come as you are. Hey, listen, you better come as you are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that's one thing about living in Miami too. You start to like meet all type of people, bro, and that's kind of why I'm like hesitant to leave because you don't want to leave from the beaches and the women, but other than that,
I'm never gonna leave, bro. Ever.
Like you can meet literally multimillionaires, NBA players, CEOs, CFOs,
correct,
at any time. Literally, like just not too long ago, we had a CFO come talk to us in class, and I'm like, huh? Like a CFO come talk to us in class. Like, there's a billion other things he can do, right? But he's coming to class to give us games. So it's like, I don't know, bro.
The one thing though, like the city will eat you alive. Like in
God.
equal amounts of opportunity,
it is.
Is there opportunities to destroy yourself without knowing it?
I wish
you know
I could,
what I mean?
I wish I could be a personal tour guide for like people, just for them to know how to maneuver in Miami. Like, I got a friend in Jersey. He came down here, and it's I have multiple friends who come down here, right? But first thing they do is like, you know, just get to it, right? And I mean, you can't blame them. You know what I'm saying? You come to Miami, that's literally what you see it all over on the movies, shows, social media. It's like, it's just a party life. You just got to get out there. But I'm like, listen, hey, calm down, because it will eat you, literally. Like, one gulp, one mistake. And I wish I could just tour people like, hey, man, listen, we're going to go to this club. And then, like, at 12, like, nah, big dog, got to go. That's just how you got to get it. You got to get it in and get out. Because if you just get in and stay in, it's like, but before you know it, you turn around, it's like, damn.
So eat you alive.
What?
Like
10 years? What? 10 years past
by. Pumping
by?
oxygen in the room. I took my cousin who's like 10. He came and visited, so we went to Gianni's Versace. And the whole time I was like telling him, like, don't talk to that person, like, be careful. Like, he kept taking his ring off just to play with it. And sure enough, at the end of the dinner, the ring is gone.
Damn.
And he's thinking he dropped it somewhere all over the floor. And I was telling him, you know, like, as beautiful as this place is, one of the people who walked you around looking for that ring probably stole it right off of your hand while you were playing with it.
Facts.
So.
Facts. It's like, you just got to be careful, bro.
Definitely.
So, like, are you guys familiar with NIL?
Yes, I am.
No?
No idea.
Okay.
NIL.
Yeah, so
what it is this name, image, likeness. So across the collegiate, NCAA, just NCAA in general. Pretty much what they did is they turned around and they kind of letting the students and the athletes.
Well, they're making money now.
Correct.
Off of their images.
Yep.
Yeah.
So interesting, too, because, like, finally the person at the bottom of the chain is actually the one that's benefiting off of the marketing, you know?
But one thing that's happening, though, it's like a crazy frenzy now, because these athletes are, like, asking for a ridiculous amount of money, right? And then on top of that,
little divas.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, there's no structure to it, right?
Correct.
So anyone can ask for any amount of price. Well, not now, because they're kind of slowly starting to get like values to the players, but just in general, it's like starting to become crazy, because now these student athletes are starting to be treated as employees.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying? So now that amateur sport style that we used to like, or that we all love, like people coming to play for a school just off of pure culture and like fan love and like college love, it's not there no more. It's like, I'm just going where the money is.
Correct. And there's no checks and balance right now. I think that's the biggest thing.
Interesting. My gut feeling was that it would be a good thing.
It is good. No, it is
almost being abused to be a bad thing.
It is.
It's so new. It's so new, so it's not really regulated yet. So they're still trying to figure it out. But I think as time goes, it will be more structure added into it. But right now, it's just no checks and balance. And these kids, like the portal just opened up yesterday or today.
Yep.
So it allows the kids to be able to transfer. But the thing is, they don't get penalized once they hit the portal. Before, like a few years ago, if you transferred to another school, you had to sit out a year. But now with the portal, it allows them to be able to go to these different schools. But I think
like mid-year, right?
Yeah, they can
how
hit
your
that portal
grades going to you're going to walk from History 101 in Miami to History 101 and
in
Jersey or something?
Yeah, it just all depends.
It's going to be a whole different subject matter, you know?
Yeah.
At that point, it's like whoever makes those decisions better be prepared, or who have to make those decisions, because hell go break loose.
Correct.
Literally.
I think it's a gift and a curse. And I think with these young athletes, they see the millions of dollars, but at the same time, they have to make sure that they have the right people in their corner. I think that's huge.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Especially with all of these NIL agents, right? Anybody can be an NIL agent in today's time, literally. As long as you have, if I'm not mistaken, probably like a degree. You probably don't even need a degree. Probably just need a couple of connections, and like have a strong network, and you can like represent any athlete. And I mean, that's scary because back then you needed someone who actually went to law school, right, to handle your contracts, negotiations, and ultimately like handle all of your deals. Now it's just like, man,
Correct.
whoever has the money or wherever the money at, that's where I'm going. And, I mean,
And it's starting to trickle down to high school. So like Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, California, they're allowing it now in high school. Not only that, but you have a bunch of AAU leagues with the traveling teams. So it's really about the money, but again, it's just making sure that you have the right people in your corner.
I think that's almost dangerous because, in my experience, anyone who ended up with money early, like they got the money before they had the sense to take care of it. Like you mentioned your grandma's church, like the church that I went to always used to say, like, God's going to hide you until the moment that you're ready for it. So if they don't get the financial education that they need and all of a sudden they're able to make millions at 14, like that type of career, only like not everybody can be Brett Favre. You're not going to make it past 35. No. And if you establish that lifestyle and then one day it ends, like a fool and his money shall soon part.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask you guys a question, right? House is on fire, right?
Okay.
You have 30 seconds to evacuate. What are the first 10 items you're bringing out? First 10 items. You gotta bring. Yeah.
It's not a very rapid fire.
Hey,
it's
listen.
a very well fireproof.
All right. First 5. Make it 5. All right. I'm counting from 20. 20. 19.
You want to go?
18.
I'm grabbing
17. 16.
my family. I'm going to make sure everybody's out of the house.
14.
The way my house is set up,
13.
we keep the keys right by the garage door, so
11.
whatever we can get out. But I mean, at that point, I'm just mainly thinking safety.
9.
Everything else, I got insurance, so I'm not really, tripping.
That's true. That's a good answer.
I mean, I just moved into a small apartment, so I don't really have a lot of things in there. Say more of the things that I value are stuck in the storage, but I have made it and gone broke so many times that I have like accepted the loss of everything.
That's down.
So like literally even I was thinking like down to shoes, clothes, any of that stuff, like I couldn't care less, you know. Even like the Bible was the first thing I thought of, but like, you know, I got it on my phone now, you know, like you could get it anywhere. So the only thing that really came to mind is the art in my house, because I have like pictures that my grandfather had, and I have like, this is the craziest thing in the world. I have a picture of the Twin Towers, but my family bought it when the Twin Towers were erected. So it's a picture of the Twin Towers with like an eagle in the middle of it. And everybody sees that and they're like, wow, that's so creepy that you bought that. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, my granddad bought that in 1970 something. So I keep it because it's so.
It resonates with you.
Yeah, it's like, it's, to me, it's not about when they fell. It's about what they did while they stood. You know what I mean? So to everyone else in the world, it has a completely different meaning. But it's like, one of them is a picture of a dance scene, and it's this person standing out in the middle of like salt flats dancing with his wife or whatever, and there's like a butler holding a umbrella. And what I love about it is, like, most people don't know this, but ballroom dancers dance with the man's left hand up and the right hand up, because most people are right-handed, and back in the 1600s when dance became vogue, they used to have swords. The Marines are the only ones that still have it. So if you put the girl on the left side, your sword would be sticking in her hip. So she's always on the man's right
side,
like this.
So
in the
I'm
picture,
doing this right?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's funny is you can get a room full of people to dance, even if it's all white people that don't know how to dance. You know what I mean? Like they'll still get that right because they've seen it in the movies so much. This picture has the wrong frame. The man is standing not only with the wrong side, but he is doing it as the woman.
Wow.
They're both standing so that if they walked, they would hit one another. The wind on the butler's dress and the scarf are blowing different directions.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at this picture so many times, there's not a single thing that is right about it. Which lets me know that whoever painted it didn't know a damn thing about dance or physics
or anything.
or wind or colors or anything. And that's why I love it, because I was a professional dancer, and so many people would see choreographies that I did and be like, that's not traditional, or that's not supposed to go there. And I would be like, bro, this is art.
Yeah.
Like, if you're telling me that that turn wasn't good because it wasn't a good turn, okay. But if you're telling me that that doesn't like fit the motif of what has been done for the last 300 years, like, welcome to Earth, bro. Like, the last 300 years are over. I can make it whatever I want. Like,
True.
Bob Fosse, everybody hated him. Michael Jackson, everybody hated him.
Well, Michael Jackson's different. I think so.
At the beginning.
At the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Michael Jackson's was actually a big fan of Bob Fosse.
True.
Bob Fosse was the inventor of jazz dancing. And everyone thought it was terrible. The truth is that it just looked better on young Michael than it looked on old Bob Fosse, you know? So, like, I'd save the art.
Now I feel bad because you guys both have like some real mature answers. I was not expecting that.
Let's put the spotlight on you.
Well, are we old or you're just young?
So my real answer is I would first, of course, worry about family, and then, you know, Bible. No, I'm fucking with you. I was not thinking that.
My mama,
my mom.
oh my God, my dog.
My phone.
I'm be real. Definitely, I'm like, my phone. Gotta get my phone.
That phone.
I was thinking about my P5.
My phone.
I was thinking about my P5.
You gotta sign up for that service where you just throw it away and another
And
one
then
comes
get it,
back.
that's not what I gotta do, bro.
Exactly, copy of it.
Yeah. I was thinking about my phone, my PlayStation 5. Definitely like family, of course, right? Like, we just gonna just imagine that I would do that, right? But probably like pair of shoes, and then like
He's carrying out some 1980s Air Jordans or something.
yeah, nah, bro, like
I mean, I get that. Like,
nah,
that's
literally
really
like
expensive. I know.
like I'm like here, and I got some on my feet too, but that's probably the only two I probably.
So you running back in the house to grab some more stuff?
Yeah.
I might.
After he takes off those
I might.
shoes.
After I take all those, I might be like, dang, so where's my dog? Where's the dog? All right, yeah. Nah, that's dope. So I don't want to make you guys, well, I'm going to just ask it. Hardcore childhood shows or something that's like very nostalgic that just brings you back to your childhood.
Cartoons.
Cartoons? All right,
Yeah,
now which
cartoons.
cartoons specifically? Name a banger show.
Fat Albert.
Fat Albert.
Like Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite. Yeah. Those are my main ones.
How about you?
Oh, and He-Man.
I say, boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the old Looney Tunes. If you had to like, if I had to be honest, and I know that's not like they got banned because they're all based actually on different mental disorders.
Yeah, true, but
So they're all a little bit tiny. They're toony. They're all a little loony.
Bangers though.
Yeah, but aren't we all just a little bit like something is strange about every
definitely.
person I've ever met?
That's
you
the
know?
thing I miss in today's cartoons, bro.
Yeah, they're too politically correct.
Nowhere.
Sometimes they're good though.
Some of them, but for most of them, like I grew up off of. You have, okay, you named a good one, He-Man. You have the Backyardigans. What's the show where it's like number 1, number 2? It's something Squad. Search it up right now.
Okay.
I'm so old. I watch Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah, I don't even think that exists anymore.
It doesn't. I don't think it does.
Do you guys remember Ed, Edd and Eddy?
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, I probably gotta go a bit.
Ren and Stimpy, Ed and Eddy.
What about Recess?
No, I don't
It was
remember
okay.
that one.
I still remember when South Park came out.
South Park is one of my favorite
Watched a couple of episodes with my dad,
The South
and my
Park.
dad was just sitting there like, "What the?" In the first half, he didn't laugh, not a nothing, you know.
He was like,
And
"Man, what
finally,
is this?"
after a while, he was like, "All right, I just gotta like take this for what it is."
Yeah.
And then he just laughed his ass off. It was so good.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe was good.
Yeah.
What year was G.I. Joe, man?
G.I. Joe was 80s and 90s. 80s, I believe.
You trying to gauge how old
I mean,
we
my
are.
favorites. Not
really.
My favorite character, like wise. But you told me to talk. Stitch.
I feel like you're the person who you damn near got right on key.
Well, I lived on a bird farm in the middle of a town of like 200 people that grew its way up to a couple of thousand. But one of the first people that I ever talked to was an African gray parrot.
Okay.
And I don't know, there's a second or third smartest thing on earth that's like us, dolphins, African grays. But they're unique in that they can converse with you and they actually understand the language. Whereas parrots just like repeat words.
Okay.
But the African grays can actually know they're having a conversation with you. But what's funny is our bird would mimic people's voices. And after a while, I thought it was so annoying because he would talk to me in my voice. So I would like, shut up, Penny, and bother the shit out of me. So I would start talking to the bird back in my voice. And my parents would walk in, and the bird would be talking as me, and I would be talking as the bird. And they're like,
What
the fuck is going on? Oh, we don't smoke, but So I eventually
just open the door. They slowly see like.
Well, when we started watching cartoons, he would match the cartoons, so then I would match the cartoons.
And then now
so I'd be Foghorn Leghorn, and he'd be the three Italian guys, you know, the tall, skinny Sicilian, the short, fat one. Yeah. Shut up, shut him up.
And everybody, now y'all have your own cartoon show.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, granted, like looking back, knowing that I've read parts of the DSM-5, like they all, I could tell you what disorder they have. You know, Pepe Le Pew is a pervert. Like Foghorn Leghorn, I think he's probably a narcissist, right? You know.
Yeah, low key.
But I don't think those words even existed at that point in time.
No,
it was
I don't think they did.
You know, the garbage man was probably a crackhead.
Yeah.
Factuals. Not probably.
Oh. And then what was it? The Tasmanian devil was bipolar because he was either
definitely bipolar,
great or or
like crazy at some point.
Yeah.
And go to spinning.
Yeah. It was still a good one.
So if you guys had one thing to tell your childhood self, right? One key of advice, what would it be?
Stay the course. Like, no matter what, like, you know, the voices and things, I learned how to sing like blues. And when I started, I would just play the same song over and over thousands of times. And I would do this in tons of languages. And everybody told me, like, bro, you sound like you're just a complete idiot, you're just babbling. And because it was. And there were so many times when I would just stop doing it for long periods of time, because it affected me, and then eventually I'd be in a different environment and go back to it. But those people are still assholes today. And I now have a skill. And I don't know if you guys know that podcast. He's like the head of research at Stanford University for neuroscience or whatever. I can't remember the guy's name right now, but he was explaining in one of his research studies that your brain actually attaches a chemical to flag something for update if you think it's essential to your survival, as if like you're not gonna survive, and if you recognize you're wrong. So every time I was like trying to match the same song, every time I would blab something and get mad at myself that I didn't get it right, it didn't actually matter whether I spoke the language. The next morning I would wake up and that one particular thing, I would sound correct. And then I would do it again. And literally 4 minutes worth of content, years later, I could sing an entire song in Andrea Bocelli's voice in Italian without speaking a word of Italian.
It's impressive.
Because to me, it was as important as life. So like, no matter what, if people hate you for something you're doing, even if you're terrible, you're probably doing it right. Because if they hate you for no reason, it's actually jealousy because they don't have the balls to go through the failure. But without the failure, your mind never establishes that you need to change that one thing. So anyone who's afraid to fail often, fail constantly, remains exactly where they are. Like, in business, they say you will rise to your level of incompetence and stay there.
Yeah.
So stay the course.
Yeah. I would say be consistent, efficient, and proficient. And like he said, stay the course. And don't ever get too comfortable and stagnant.
Yeah, don't get complacent, bro.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And just, like he said, just stand on that path.
Like what the speaker said.
Correct.
Do you remember what the speaker said?
Yep.
Like during the thing?
Yeah.
He was like, it's easy to get inspired. It's hard to stay inspired.
Definitely. And I think throughout life, like just growing up from a kid all the way up to now, just it's okay to get off path sometimes, but still stay focused in the direction that you need to continue to go in. And you may have some setbacks, but again, those setbacks should be a learning experience. And as you learn, then you just keep progressing. And even if you're just making one small adjustment, that's still progression. So again, if you can look back tomorrow, because one thing about, I think I once heard, when you're on a boat and the waves behind you, there's nothing you can do about those waves behind you. You got to keep focusing on what's in front of you. So I think just again, I mean, as kids, we go through a lot. I mean, when we were growing up, we didn't have PlayStations, Xboxes. So I mean, we stayed out to the street lights.
I miss those days, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had video games, but my best times were when we used to stay out late.
Yep. Yeah, man. And I remember my mom used to make me come check in. We'd be out there playing basketball. It's 19 to 19. She like, you need to come in. Or she would give me a time to come back. And I would take my watch and set it back like 10 more minutes. She was like, I know I'm not crazy. I was like, hey, my battery went out on my watch. I was like, yeah, man. So just, I mean, again, just stay in the course. I think that's very important.
That's dope.
Yep.
I'm still young, so those were both great advice. I mean, if I was to tell someone like younger than me, it would probably be, don't be afraid to fail, right? Because we all fail. I've learned so much from failing. I sometimes put myself out to fail, which sounds crazy at sometimes, but I do.
Unforgettable, though.
Definitely unforgettable.
Because you attach that emotion to that failure.
Which is sometimes is good, right? Because you kind of learn from it, but sometimes bad because you don't want to get too attached to it. But for the most part, I mean, just don't be afraid to fail. I've failed a lot, literally. I'm gonna get like very what's the word?
Nostalgic.
Not nostalgic, but very like comfortable with you guys, right? I had like car accident like from back to back within like 1 month. Had a car accident in the beginning of the month. 2 weeks later, got another car, got in another car accident, and then got in a car accident.
You still drive, right?
Definitely still drive. Yeah. Got in a car accident. Got my mom car. She let me hold her car. Got in a car accident with her car. She didn't have no car. Then I got a new car and I got an accident again, right?
This guy's not driving my car.
So I'm gonna ask you something.
Yeah.
What did you take from all of that?
No, so definitely.
Yeah.
So
the only true way to fail is to give up.
Yeah.
So
True.
if you're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
driving, you didn't fail.
No, exactly. And I
You
could have
just learned the hard way 3 times.
Very, very hard. I'm talking about insurance. Like, bro, what? Like, my agent was like, bro, no more. But what I learned from it was obviously, I started noticing like what was happening when I got in a car accident, right? So I'll probably be coming out very late, right? Or I'll probably be coming from a party, or I'll probably drive after like a long workout and I'll be super tired, right? So he mentioned it as like you don't see it as mistakes or failure, you see it as lessons, right? So I saw all those like car accidents as lessons, and ultimately like I felt like I wasn't close to God. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was just something that was just like a chip on my shoulder. Like, bro, I'm very hard-headed, but I just knew like God was trying to tell me something, right? He was trying to tell me something. I've had homies, slow.
That's what I was just thinking.
Slow the fuck down, literally, like
sleep 1 more hour.
Very harshly, like, and I took it more of a blessing because, one, it got me closer to God, to notice, like, bro, I had a homie, long live Ronnie, he passed away in a car accident. Boom. Not even on the car side, the driver's side, on the passenger side, right? One. I had the blessing to get out of 3, right?
Yeah, while you were still young enough to get
While I was
out of
still
the
young,
car.
exactly.
Because
No
if that
injuries.
happened to us now,
Correct.
Yeah, right?
you
And
don't got to worry about those
the
pictures in that
pains
heart.
down the line.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I mean, I learned a lot of it, but definitely overall, I was like, bro, I got closer to God, and then, like, obviously everything else, like, slow down, like, take an hour rest before I drive and stuff like that. But, I mean, I say all that to say, if I was to tell my younger self, like, don't be afraid to fail, you know what I'm saying? Because those kind of where you learn your lessons, and that's kind of your foundation. So.
Yep. I agree.
The other day, someone was telling me that they were jealous of like all the skills that I had, and I sort of sat there quietly because in my head, I went through the list of every skill that I had, and they got developed through extremely difficult, like almost traumatic events. So I was thinking to myself, like, I wish I could give them the skill, because if I could go back and get rid of it. And at that exact moment, somebody asked me, like, what was the best thing that ever happened to you? And I looked at him and I was like, the worst thing that ever happened to me. Like, the best things that ever happened to me
was the worst.
were the worst things that ever happened to me.
Bars.
But only because I didn't learn the wrong lesson.